going, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddison Hill, and yes, it's time for another pop-off with Maddison. For today's pop-off, I'm going to be talking about Justin and Hailey Bieber and Chris Evans and Selena Gomez. Now, I know that there are so many of you who absolutely hate when I lump Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez into the same video, but like I told you guys in my last pop-off, I'm really busy right now, and I want to make sure you guys get the maximum amount of tea per video, even if that means I have to lump Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez into the same one. If you disagree with me, I'm so sorry you feel that way, but you don't need to tell me in the comments, because I feel like the majority of the House of Hill feels the exact same way as I do, is that you want to make sure you're just getting the most tea as possible in every single video. So if you disagree with us, that's totally okay. That's just how we're gonna have to do things for this pop-off. Now that we have that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get into the tea. So when it comes to the Biebers, I want to fill you guys in on this recent interview they just did, where Justin and Hailey both talked about the difficulties their marriage has faced, especially when Justin was working on his mental health. There's a lot to unpack there. Hailey also talks about how she always knew her and Justin were meant to be. It's a whole thing and a half, and I need to fill you in on it. Now, as far as Selena Gomez, number one, it sounds like Selena Gomez absolutely has new music coming, which of course is fantastic news. And number two, people on the internet are continuing to fuel rumors that Selena Gomez is dating Chris Evans, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is the first piece of evidence that the internet has brought to our attention that I actually think is legit to pointing at potentially Chris Evans and Selena Gomez dating. I know it's kind of a big deal, and it involves Chris Evans' childhood best friend's Instagram activity. I'm telling ya, it's a lot that we need to get into, so we're gonna go ahead and not waste any more time and get straight to unwrapping these Biebers and Selena Gomez and Chris Evans facts. And I'm sure there's gonna be some comments about me talking with my hands. You guys know, if you've been here for a while, I'm half Hispanic. Whenever I'm passionate, I talk with my hands. I'll try to work on it, but it's kind of genetic at this point. All right, so first up, let's talk about the Biebers. So recently, Justin and Hailey sat down as guests on their friend's new podcast, Chelsea and Judah Smith. This podcast is called In Good Faith with Chelsea and Judah Smith. Now, if you're wondering who the F these people are and why Justin and Hailey were on their podcast, I feel the need to mention to you, these are some of Justin and Hailey's really good church friends. This podcast is also under SB Productions, aka Scooter Braun's company, so you know, of course, Justin Bieber had to be involved in one way or another. Sorry, you guys know how I feel about Scooter Braun, but that's neither here nor there, because the real tea lies in what Justin and Hailey Bieber had to say in regards to the difficulties that their marriage has faced, especially at the beginning of their marriage when Justin Bieber was working through his mental health issues. When speaking about this difficult time, Hailey recalled that at one point she was in Brooklyn and she called her mom crying, and she shared that she told her mom, quote, "I just can't do it. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this if it's going to be like this forever." Hailey went on to say that her mom told her it was going to pass, that Justin was going to get healthy, and reminded her that she was there for her. Hailey then reflected that after that little pep talk with her mom, and of course, obviously reflecting on her own feelings, she knew she was in her marriage with Justin no matter what. As she said, quote, "But I also just think I was in it. I made a decision. I know for a fact that I've loved this person for a very long time, and now would not be the time to give up on him. I just wouldn't do that to him." Hailey then continued reflecting on this time in her and Justin's relationship, saying, quote, "Imagine abandoning somebody in the middle of the worst time of their life, potentially. I'm not that type of person. So I was going to stick it out no matter what the outcome was going to be. It was really hard. There were some days where I was literally like, I don't know if he's going to be okay. Something really deep down inside of me was like, he's going to get through it. I just didn't know how long it was going to take." As far as Justin is concerned, he mentioned how during this time he was healing from a lot of past trauma, and how Hailey continually showing up for their relationship every day helped him get through it. Now, during this interview, Justin and Hailey didn't just talk about their marital struggles, they also talked about how they always knew that they were meant for one another. Justin talked about how he always wanted the fairy tale for his life, the wife, the kids, and Hailey always felt the same. She said this is something she knew they agreed on even during times when they, quote, were maybe not cool with each other and didn't speak. Hailey then went on to talk about one thing that her and Justin really had to overcome. She said this is actually something that she did, something that caused a lot of hurt to Justin. She, of course, didn't give any specifics, but obviously, despite all of that difficulty, she still knew deep down that Justin was the one for her. Hailey said, quote, "Everybody always wondered why I held on to the idea and hoped that maybe it would work out. We were having pillow talk conversations with him telling me my biggest goal in life is to have a healthy family. In my head, I'm just like, I just don't think that this is BS because he doesn't have to say that." Hailey went on to say, quote, "We always had so many conversations about our goals, where we wanted to end up at a certain age. We always wanted to be married young and have a young family and have kids young." Hailey said that her and Justin, quote, "had a lot of alignment on where they saw their lives, and because they both wanted the same things at the same time, she knew they would end up together, and obviously, as we all know, they did." it. Honestly, overall, I feel like this is one of the better interviews the Biebers have done. It was one of the more honest interviews, and yes, I know I'm already starting to pop off, so let me just stop myself right now and let's move on and talk about Selena Gomez and Chris Evans. Now, while Selena Gomez and Chris Evans are not a confirmed couple like Justin and Hailey Bieber, that has not stopped the internet from hoping that one day they will be so. The internet has been holding on to tiny clues here and there, and even though these clues have been debunked, people have still really been holding out hope that maybe secretly behind some really secret closed doors, Selena and Chris Evans are together. I'm telling you, you really can't break the spirit of those who ship Chris Evans and Selena Gomez, because once again, fans are speculating that they are dating thanks to one clue over on Instagram. So recently, some eagle-eyed fans noticed that Chris Evans' childhood best friend, her name is Tara Testa, she's on private by the way, but fans noticed that Tara recently started following Selena Gomez over on Instagram. You guys know I typically hold a lot of weight in what celebrities and their friends do over on Instagram, so I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the most compelling evidence I've seen in a while, but I'm not gonna get into all of that yet because first I want to fill you guys in on Selena Gomez's new potential music. I want to bring your guys' attention to this anonymous tip that was recently sent into Dumois. This tipster said that Selena's next song is I Feel Pretty, which we know she's been teasing over on TikTok, but she's having a little disagreement with her label on how they see the song. Regardless though, it's either coming at the end of the month or early next month, which obviously is fantastic news. Okay, I know I just threw a lot of information at you guys, and I know personally I'm ready to give you all my thoughts. I'm also ready for some champ, so let's go ahead and make this pop off official and get to that champ bomb. The best sound ever. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the Biebers. Honestly, like I said earlier, love them or hate them, and I know a lot of you have some very strong opinions when it comes to the Biebers. However you feel about them, you have to at least admit that this is one of the more honest interviews that we've seen them do. I feel like it's very obvious that they did feel comfortable talking to their fellow couple friends about some of the issues that they faced. And honestly, you guys, the fact that Hailey talked about wanting to throw in the towel at one point in her marriage kind of makes me feel better. I don't know if you guys remember this, but at the beginning of Justin and Hailey's marriage, when that first documentary came out, when they first got married, we were really seeing Hailey almost take on more of a mother role than a wife role. People were dragging her for it. People were definitely commenting on that. I was one of those people, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I wasn't. And obviously I know Hailey didn't say those words in the interview. She didn't say I felt more like his mom than his wife, but she did admit that being her partner's sole support system did wear on her. It was taxing, and at some point she wasn't sure if she could continue being that for Justin Bieber, and I find that incredibly authentic and endearing, and honestly I respect her a lot for saying that and admitting that. I think anyone who has been in a relationship, whether or not that's romantic or a friendship, whenever you have been in a position where you are that person's sole support system, you know it can become wearing on you. And again, I just really respect the fact that Hailey admitted it, that you know what, she had to call her mom at one point and be like, I don't know if I can do this. I call my mom for every little thing, so maybe I just relate to that even more on another level, but I really just respected that at one point she felt like, I don't know if I can do this. Her mom gave her a pep talk. It snapped her back into reality of that she loves this man. She wants to be with this man. She made a commitment to this man, and she is going to help him get out of his darkest days. However, having said all of that, I will say the one piece of tea that I wish their friends would have pushed a little harder on, I want to know what Hailey did to really upset Justin Bieber. You can't lie. You guys already know automatically when I heard Hailey say she wasn't going to go into details and she did something that really hurt Justin, I automatically wanted to know what it is. I personally feel like it had something to do with Shawn Mendes, because if you remember, right before Hailey and Justin got together, she kind of had this weird friendship, more than friends, little fling going on with Shawn Mendes. So I feel like it has something to do with Shawn Mendes. That's just personally me speculating. Clearly, it doesn't matter now. She knew that she always wanted to be with Justin, and vice versa. He knew that he wanted to be with her. So of course, that's really all that matters at the end of the day, but my little T-brain just can't help but always wonder what celebrities aren't telling us. And the last thing I'm gonna say about the Biebers is I know some of you are probably going to be disappointed in this pop-off. You're gonna want me to always go in on the Biebers and go hard on them. But based on this interview alone, I don't see any reason to call the Biebers out. You all know I have absolutely zero problem calling celebrities out when the situation warrants it. I mean, just last week when Hailey Bieber posted that TikTok and deleted it. You guys know I posted a video and I said, hey, not cool. I have no problem calling celebrities out when the situation warrants it, but I'm not gonna call them out unnecessarily, and this interview does not require me to call them out at all. Again, that's just my own personal opinion, and now let's move on and talk about Selena Gomez. You know what? I'll hand it to you, Chris-Selena shippers. This is the first piece of compelling evidence I feel like people have found in regards to those Chris Evans and Selena Gomez dating rumors. Just because I know for me personally, when I start dating someone and she's in rice, let's just go ahead and cross our fingers and manifest that I find him soon, it will be a sign of approval if my childhood best friends start following him over on Instagram. Honestly, if my childhood best friends didn't start following my boyfriend on Instagram, I would almost take that as a sign that they don't like him or that they don't approve. So I will say the fact that Chris Evans' childhood best friend just started following Selena Gomez over on Instagram is definitely intriguing me. But having said that, I don't want people to freak out too much over this, because I think when the internet reacts this way and they freak out over any little thing that links Selena Gomez to another man, I feel like this just makes Selena Gomez want to be that much more private with her next relationship, whether or not it's with Chris Evans. So everyone, I'm right there with you. This is a really big piece of evidence. This to me is the first piece of evidence that actually points to a potential, at least, friendship between Chris Evans and Selena Gomez. I hear you, I'm with you, but everyone has to play it cool, myself included. Just keep manifesting Chris Evans and Selena Gomez and their relationship if that's what you want. Keep crossing your fingers, crossing your toes, but keep your cool, because if we freak out over every little thing, it's just gonna make Selena Gomez want to hide it from everybody that much more. And also, just to make it clear, well, yes, I feel like this evidence is compelling, and obviously I would be here for Selena Gomez and Chris Evans' relationship. I'm not totally convinced that Chris Evans and Selena Gomez is happening yet, but I'm also not ruling it out of the realm of possibility. In the meantime, I will personally be waiting for Selena Gomez's new music. I have been living for her teases over on TikTok, so I am so ready for her to release the song in its entirety, and I hope I'm not alone on that. All right, you guys, that is all I have for you when it comes to the Biebers and Selena Gomez and Chris Evans. I want to hear all of your thoughts and feels down below. While you guys are at it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget that notification bell. For more content, make sure you guys follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, and of course, don't forget to keep coming back to my channel to check out my YouTube shorts. You guys can also find all of my merch over at my merch store at houseofhill.com. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!